Call the meeting to order. I want to welcome everybody here. Thank you for coming. I do have the opening today, and this is one of those times when Susan should have phoned me and said, "We've got the opening." But I do want to just start off. It's a new year. It's a new year with. It's often a time for us to reflect on what's gone on and where we're heading, and both of them are good things to do. You can reflect on the things that have been challenging and the things that you've actually been able to accomplish in the last year. And when you look back at what us as a council have accomplished this last year, I think we can say that we moved the city ahead, that we have seen growth, that we've seen certainly that our projects that we're working on are moving forward, and we look forward to a new year. And when you look at this new year, you see certainly things that are going to transpire that will be good for our city. You'll see us move forward with our multiplex plans. You'll see us move forward with recreation and cultural facility renewal. You'll see us move forward with infrastructure renewal. And you'll see us move forward with advocating for a city, and specifically for PCH beds with the province. And so I really look forward to that this next year. We are going to have a lot to do. It'll be a busy time, but we will be a productive council. On a personal note, my wife and I reflected a little bit about what our New Year's resolutions would be. And some of them might have been smaller, and some of them are actually fairly large. And one of them that I decided to, and I'm going to say it out loud now, don't report this one, but one of them is to just show appreciation for the people who do many things for me personally and me in my jobs. And so I want to say, first of all, a big thank you to Council for supporting the work that I as Mayor do on behalf of us. And I want to say thank you for listening, for giving advice, for giving criticism when needed. It is appreciated. And just as Councillor Funk said just earlier, he said, you know, when we are together, we come up with better decisions, and you help me make better decisions. We hopefully help all of us make better decisions. I also want to say thank you to our administration. Our administration does an excellent job in supporting the work that we as council do, and specifically Deb, thank you for your work you do for me. You answer phone calls, you take care of a lot of details, and so I just want to say thank you. With that, let's move on to the agenda. The agenda in front of us, can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please? Councillor Funk, second by Councillor Swagstra. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favour? Carried. We have the minutes in front of us from December 15th. Can I have a motion, please? Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Funk. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favour? Carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Seeing none, can I have a motion to excuse both Councillor Penner and Councillor Fair? Councillor Funk, second by Councillor Penner. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favour? Carried. We have no public hearings. We have no scheduled delegations, but we do have reports and recommendations from the City Manager. 8A, Mr. Warkentine, we have the traffic study. This is on page 4. Do you have a brief summary, please?
Yes, I do. This traffic study is a report that the City of Steinbach has completed now for the 18th year. I believe the first one was completed in 1997. Information is used regularly for the city to consider possible projects or improvements to the main intersections that run through the City of Steinbach. Just for Council's benefit, wanted to highlight a few items that were found within the traffic analysis that was completed this year. Firstly, just wanted to note the peak hour traffic volumes on table 2.2 that's found on page 6. It continues to show that there's a long-term increase in the traffic count. There are some variations along the intersections, both on PTH 12 and PTH 52, but on average, an annual increase of 2.5% is fairly typical throughout the city. The highest volume intersection in 2015 was the intersection along PTH 12 North at the Superstore and Seine-Rat Co-op entrance, which has tended to be one of the highest activity intersections over the history of the traffic analysis. Second item to point out, in the unsignalized intersection level of service findings on table 3.1 on page 8, noted that the PTH 12 North at Penfeld and Acres intersection continues to rate the highest need for level of service improvements. Improvements to that intersection are scheduled for the 2016 capital projects or program year, and it's expected that the intersection improvements, including the signalization, will improve that level of service there. Also of note is based on the work that was completed earlier in 2014 and 2015, the intersections at both Park Road and at Millwork Drive, the levels of service were noted to be improved from the previous findings, so that is encouraging news. Also with the signalized intersections level of service, table 3.3, the current intersection with the highest need for level of service improvements is PTH 12 and Lowen Boulevard. Again, there continues to be significant traffic volumes at that intersection, and it is something that the city could focus its efforts on in the future as the current intersection improvement program is completed. Another point to note is the traffic signal warrant analysis, and that's found on table 5.1 on page 14. There are still a number of unsignalized intersections on both PTH 12 and PTH 52 running through Steinbach. Again, it was noted that PTH 12 at Penfeld has warranted signalization for many years. The interesting finding in the traffic count that was completed in 2015 is the traffic or the signalization warrant actually did not indicate that traffic signals were required. That is a bit of an aberration based on the long-term history. If you note in the report, there was a unique circumstance noted that there was a number of vehicles that were queued to use the intersection, but due to the long delays, either turned around or found alternate routes to get where they were going. So that is the expected reason as to why the level of service fell below the threshold for this year. And then finally, I just wanted to point out the pedestrian warrant analysis, and that was found on page 16, table 6.1. A number of intersections were reviewed to see whether the actual pedestrian count warranted a formal pedestrian corridor, and at this point the findings from the study did not indicate that there was sufficient pedestrian activity at any of the intersections on PTH 12 or PTH 52.
Thank you. There might be a number of questions from council. For starters, I'll give you two of them, specifically in Millwork Drive and Stonebridge Crossing. Is it still worth actually getting analysis on that one since it's partially closed?
From the review that was done, there was actually a pedestrian count that was completed. There still is an outstanding request by Steinbach Christian High Schools that has been filed with Manitoba Infrastructure and Transportation requesting some kind of pedestrian corridor in the area. At this point, the last information that was provided was the counts did not warrant a formal pedestrian corridor to be installed. Just from a comparative point of view, it's a review that's done along with many other intersections. It may continue to provide useful information that we could continue to use in the future.
I drive through there so often, but is a traffic signal or a pedestrian corridor, is that actually a signalized pedestrian corridor? Is that what we're asking, or is it just a regular without lights? Is that
Well,